Can we make a French bread pizza that's better than the stuff you get out in the frozen food section at the grocery store? Probably. Let's find out. This is where I put an intro, if I had one. Hi guys, haven't seen you in a while. As you can see, we're trying something a little bit different. We got some new microphones, we got a new camera, lighting, all that jazz. We got a new prep table, look at this shit. This is fucking beautiful. Also, got a new concept I want to try. We're calling this Gourmet Trash Food, so welcome to the first episode of Gourmet Trash Food, where I'm going to be taking trash foods, such as frozen French bread pizza, and trying to make gourmet versions of them. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing we want to make is our tomato sauce as our base for the pizza. I'm using Campari tomatoes here. I chose Campari because they're a little bit sweeter, have a little bit nicer of a flavor than regular tomatoes, and more importantly, they were on sale. That's the real reason, not the flavor. They were on sale. So what we're going to do here is take a little package of Camparis, juggle them, and then we're just going to have them. So let's take them off the damn vine as they fall and they bruise. And I was not super prepared for this, as you can see. So now you've got all these little shits off the vine, we're just gonna have them. Just like that. Now that we have all of our tomatoes halved, we're gonna roast them. The reason for this, I actually want to get them in the oven and get that dry heat going on around them, really kickstart that caramelization process. And what that's going to do is once we get it in the pot, it's really going to help deepen the flavor. So get your tomatoes on a roasting tray and then get yourself some garlic, which I should have had ready. I don't have it ready. Look at me. I'm a professional. Now, as always, when you want to crack open a whole bowl of garlic, you're just going to sit it down and you're just going to... Shit. Oh, that fucking exploded. Holy shit. What the fuck? Jesus. I guess I'm gonna need to get a bowl. Alright, that's cleaned up. Can we keep cooking now? Is that cool with you? Alright. So, now that we've got that, we're gonna take 2 decent sized bulbs of garlic, and we're first just gonna crush them just a touch to get that skin off. Then you peel it. Okay, we want it sliced pretty thin. I don't want to do the knife work with the thin slicing and the blah blah blah. I'm going to do some knife work later. Just going to grab my mandolin and set it. Okay, so now we got our mandolin set, ready to go. We're just going to slice this garlic. Now, if you use a mandolin, or if you've never used a mandolin, be careful. These things are sharp. These things will fuck you up. Okay, it actually would have just been faster for me to cut this. Holy shit. Oh my god. Why do you hate me? Why do you hate me so much? Alright, get out of my way. Okay, so once you've got your super thin sliced garlic, as you can see, just pick it up, and we're just gonna sprinkle it on our sheet tray with the onions. They're not onions. They're fucking tomatoes. I put down a little drizzle of olive oil on the sheet tray, just kind of help things so they don't stick. And then we're gonna take some thyme. Now, this is very similar to how we roast tomatoes where I work. The only difference is the tomatoes themselves. We use cherry tomatoes there. I'm using Campari, not a big deal. So just a few sprigs of thyme spread around there. All right. And then we're gonna take some more of our olive oil and just drizzle it all over that. We're gonna stick it in the oven. It's going in about 450 degrees for about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. You cook them until they're done. Which also, a fun fact, people always ask, how long am I supposed to reheat this for? Just stick it in the oven. Just turn it on whatever, unless like there's something really specific, like a fucking, you know, prime rib or something like that, some big piece of meat, or something that has to be cooked really specifically. Like if it's just a casserole, dude, just cook it. Just flip the dial and throw it in there until it's hot. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters, but usually it doesn't. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some caramelized shallots. Why caramelized shallots? I thought they sounded good. Shallots, just like an onion. Split the top, split down the center, then you peel, and then you peel, and then you peel. Jesus Christ. Sometimes you just fantasize about peeling, and you do really stupid, dangerous things like this because it doesn't want to peel. What the? Come on. Come on. Oh, don't you do it to it. Don't you do this to me. Come on, baby. Okay, so we're gonna use this many shallots. This many. We're gonna sell a little bit of the side because we're gonna put some onion, or it's an onion. It's a classy French onion. We're gonna put some shallot into the sauce when we put it on the stove. So we're gonna set this a little bit aside. For these, we're just gonna chop them. Now, as I said in one of my other videos, you just chop pole to pole. So we're just gonna come down. What the hell? Chop, 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 chop. And we're gonna chop carefully because sometimes when you're chopping onions at the speed of sound at work, because you gotta do them quickly, you nick your guide knuckle. Look at that, look at that. Did that yesterday. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. So now my eyes aren't on fire anymore. Let's keep cooking. I've got a pan going on the stove over here, going on about medium heat. We're gonna take about half a stick of butter. Should have unwrapped it first. That's okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and just press record on our other camera and hope to God that it doesn't overheat. That's why I got a new camera, by the way, guys. This camera fucking overheats. Don't get an A5100. Get something that doesn't overheat. Anyway, we're gonna just pick that off. We're just gonna just stick it in there. Just gonna move your butter around, all nice and melty. We're just gonna take these shallots, throw them in the pan. All right, and then once they're in the pan, you're just gonna give them a little go. Make sure they all get nice and coated with that nice butter. Get them nice and coated. A little good sprinkling. And you guys know me. Leave a comment down below if you know how much pepper I'm putting in here. I prefer the metric units. And now, since the skillet's starting to get pretty hot because it's cast iron, use a towel. Because I'm not an idiot sometimes. So we'll toss. And then we're just going to drop that heat down to low. And we're just going to stir them occasionally until they get nice and caramelized. So these shallots are going to caramelize for a while, and all we're really going to do is tend them. You know, just take your wooden spoon, just give them a little stir every now and then, and eventually they'll be done. The one last thing we're going to do is add some wine to it. So I'm going to use some red wine with it. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm using Gato Negro because I don't know shit about wine, and there's a cat on this bottle. That's it. So, you know, as always, it's good wine, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a wine drinker. So I'm just gonna throw a good little bit in here. Nice little glug. And that's gonna kind of simmer in the pan. That's gonna evaporate, and we'll just stir the shallots with those every now and then, and they'll be good to go probably in like 20, 30 minutes. I don't know, once they're soft and they're caramelized looking. Guys, we're flying by the seat of our pants here. I work in a nice restaurant for like my real living where I actually make money. But at home, we're gonna get away with a lot of shit, and this is one of the things we're gonna get away with. We're gonna just do it until it's done. All right? Cool? Cool. I think I mentioned before that my oven's a piece of shit. It's not always the right temperature. It just doesn't work well. The broiler's busted. It sucks. This is what happens when you rent. My thermometer handle, the knob, the oven temperature thing, I don't know what it's called. I know what it's called. I can't think of it right now. Just fucking burned me. Just the plastic knob. So that's probably a fire hazard. Gonna have to call my landlord on that one. Oh yeah. So our tomatoes are looking good and done here, and I'm gonna set these on the stove. Oh God, yeah, so those are just so hot. So we're gonna give those a few minutes to cool, and then we're gonna peel them. Now, in the meantime, I'm gonna jump cut. Oh, mistakes were made. You know how I said put it in the oven until it's done, it'll be fine. You know, no, not when you're doing a million things at once and you forget to check your oven. Sometimes you forget to check your oven. Sometimes you have ADHD and you're doing a million things and then your medication wears off and you forget about the tomatoes in the oven. And, so yeah, our garlic is torched, our thyme is torched, our tomatoes are fine. So we can totally save this. And, so I guess I'm gonna show you guys how to save it. So first off, we are still gonna peel the tomatoes. Now what's nice here is these peels are just gonna pull right off. Maybe squeeze them out a little bit. This looks up, but I can pretty much guarantee you guys this is still gonna taste really good because the tomatoes are fine. It's just everything that was around it. So the tomatoes aren't gonna yield much, but that's really not a big deal considering we're not making a ton of food here. We only want them a little bit. So we've got all our tomatoes in there, so let's get rid of this just completely. Just throw your shame in the trash. The kitchen is a minefield of equipment. Okay, so it's time to start our sauce. So we've got our tomatoes that are already roasted. We're gonna get those in a pan in a second. First off, we're gonna do a little bit more garlic just to, you know, compensate for what we did before. To be honest with you guys, I don't know why I thought the mandolin was a good idea. Holy was that easier. I want to get this shallot super fine because I want it to almost melt in the sauce once it gets going. So we're going to get quite a few incisions going here. You got one more? I got one more. All right. And then we're just going to get real tiny cuts. And now don't forget about your shallots that are still on the stove. I've already given those a good couple of stirs. And they're looking pretty good. They're getting pretty dark. I'll show them to you guys. Stay patient. I got you. All right, so what we're going to do here is get a little saucepan. We don't have a lot, so just a little bit. And I wish my tripod here was taller. But we're going to get that going with a little bit of olive oil. Just a couple little glugs there. And I'll let that heat up. Now this is definitely one of the dumber things that I've done. I don't know if you can see that from that angle, but I have my tripod on my stove. So we'll see how this works, especially with a camera that is known for overheating. Anyway, we're gonna throw our garlic. We get our garlic in the pan. And bonk, or whatever that one chef said. It's a lot of oil. And get that swirling. Now I got that pan a little bit hotter than I needed to, so I'm going to go ahead and get these shallots in there now to help cool off that oil. So don't want that garlic to burn again. Let's get it in there. And then we'll give it a quick stir here. Drop our heat. I'm going to take it off the heat to let some of that dissipate. And as you can see, the garlic started to brown a little bit, but that's okay. It's not burnt. It's still going to taste just fine. Get our pan cooling off here. The low heat going now. We're just going to let that saute for a minute. All right, now that we've been sauteing for a little bit, we're going to take the rest of our gato negro and we're going to dump it in the pan. We're going to deglaze here. I'm going to stir that. I'm going to let it come back up to a simmer and let it cook down for a couple minutes. So as you can see right there, our wine is very reduced. It's creating like a really nice, almost kind of like a paste. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these tomatoes, which taste great actually. I tasted a little bit, it's super sweet, very nice. And we're just gonna add it to the pot. I did not puree those for a couple reasons. Mainly, they're pretty cooked and they're just gonna kind of break down, especially as I stir them. I actually kind of like a chunky sauce sometimes. Also, it's Guys, it's almost 3 in the morning, and I'm not gonna break out the food processor. I don't think my roommate's gonna appreciate that. I don't think my upstairs neighbor's gonna appreciate that. So we're just gonna let it cook down naturally. So we'll go over here. And now just by mixing that up, it's already broken down quite a bit. So I'm just gonna leave it on like a medium heat, medium low, and let it cook for a little bit. I want the sugars to caramelize more. I want everything to just kind of come together, get the flavors to know each other. One last thing now, got a little bit of basil. So I'm just gonna take, you know, like a little cluster of leaves right here. All right, a little cluster of leaves right here, and we're just gonna kind of work it around. It's really gonna open up the flavor of the basil. We're just gonna chuck it in there. I'm gonna give it a little stir here in a second. And what I mean by open up the flavor, you'll hear a lot of chefs say that, a lot of cooks say that, and it's true, it opens the flavor. What that really means is when you do that, you're kind of releasing all the oils that are in the basil leaves and really bringing them forward. So you're gonna get a lot more flavorful basil from that. So we're gonna let that cook down for a little bit, and we'll come back. All right, so while we're waiting, we might as well, you know, for a little bit of comparison, we might as well give one of these things. So I'll give this guy a little try. That is unimpressive. Oh God. So we're gonna try to spread this pepperoni out a little bit. What'd the box say? What? No. What? You want me to... They want you to microwave it and then stick it in the oven. No, we're just gonna... Nobody does that. I don't feel like I'm not gonna stick it in the oven. We're just gonna... It's fine, I'm sure it'll be great. It's not gonna be bad. Why would it be bad? Anyway, so while we're waiting for what I'm sure is just going to be a delightful French bread pizza in the microwave, why don't you guys go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Gonna pop a little thing up right there. Yeah, subscribe for me. If you like the video. So, you know, let me know. Do you like this type of video? Do you want me to go back to my old style where, you know, I'm just fucking like, it's the close-up binging with Babish style. You know, I got, somebody gave me flack saying I was ripping off binging with Babish. It was more of just a, you know, active necessity based on the equipment I had. I want to do stuff more like this. But yeah, let me know down below if you want to see me do more videos like this, and if you want to see more of the gourmet trash food style stuff. I got a couple more ideas lined up, but I definitely want to execute on that. So, oh, we still got a minute. Oh God. Ow, fuck. Ow. Guys, y'all, my friends, my enemies, whoever. All right. This is going to be better. I promise this is going to be better. As you can see, well, no, you can't see. You can't tell. It's 6 p.m. the next day. I went to start finishing everything, and my French bread was moldy, so that was a problem. And you can't really just go out and buy a loaf of French bread at 4:30 in the morning. So here we are, the next day, finishing everything up. That's why we've got our sauce and our onions in little cup containers. But yeah, everything is just about done here. So we're gonna start putting it together. Oh, and speaking of Mythical, if you're a big fan of that channel like I am and you decide to buy one of their aprons, read the damn instructions on the tag before you wash it. Don't run it through the dryer. I got exactly 0 uses out of this apron before this happened. So, you know, just a little pro tip. Anyway, we got our loaf of French bread here. I'm just gonna I want like a nice little center cut. So we're just gonna cut some here. I'm gonna cut it down the middle. We're gonna take our sauce. It didn't yield a whole lot of sauce. That wasn't a whole lot of tomato, but it tastes really good. So that's an A+ there. I'm just gonna spread that on there, just like that. So now, for the cheese, instead of regular mozzarella, I'm using burrata, which is very similar to mozzarella. It's like a super creamy mozzarella that I think is gonna give it a really nice texture once it gets all nice and melty. So I'm just gonna take a little bit here, just kind of put it on there, just a little bit, just like that. And you can see that texture where it's like very different than your regular run-of-the-mill mozzarella. That on there. Now, instead of pepperoni, I decided to go with some hot sapressata. It's another type of Italian cured meat. I think it has a really great flavor. So we're gonna see if we can actually peel these apart without them tearing. Oh, hey, look, that's going off. That's kind of nice. And I'm just gonna kind of fold them on there. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna do our caramelized onions first. And just like that. Guess I can change the angle here a little bit. Looks good. So now, I'm gonna take our sapressata. It's gonna kind of fold it on here. Take a few minutes. As you know, I like to make things look nice. Tamp it down a little bit. I didn't record my other angle. All right. Well, we're just gonna eat that. Just like that. That's really good. All right, get these guys on a baking sheet here. And we're gonna take a little bit more of that burrata, put that right on top. All right, so we've got the oven right around 425. We're just gonna stick that in there until everything starts getting hot and melty. And then what you'll wanna do too, to really finalize and get a good melt on that cheese, maybe brown it a little bit, is once it starts going, turn the broiler on for a minute. My broiler doesn't work. Like I said multiple times, my oven is just a piece of shit garbage. So I'm actually gonna torch it later when it comes down. But for now, we're just gonna go in the oven. All right, our little French bread pizzas are out of the oven. And I gotta say, my oven actually did a pretty good job here of melting the cheese. However, I just bought this blowtorch specifically because I thought I was gonna need to do this. So we're gonna do one of them just because I'm gonna use this damn torch. And I actually really like the little bit of browning that's showing up on this. It's also gonna crisp up this sapressata a little bit, which I really like. All right, so one of the last things, we've got two more little things we're gonna do here. The first is I'm gonna add just a little bit of spicy honey onto these. Just because, like, I wanna add a little bit more of a kick to them. I also wanna add that touch of sweetness I think is really gonna play well with all the savory flavors going on here, especially the fattiness of that cheese. Now the last thing we're gonna do is garnish the pizza with a little bit of cheese. Now normally for a pizza I would use, Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino Romano, something like that, maybe a blend of the two. And for this I'm going with Pecorino Toscano Stagionato. Now what that means is it's very similar to Romano in the fact that it's a pecorino. Pecorino basically meaning that it's a cheese made from sheep's milk in Italy. So it's a hard cheese similar to those. It's still got that like really kind of peppery taste that you'll get from Romano, but it's still a little bit milder. So I'm just gonna take my grater here. It's gonna fall apart. A little bit on there. You gotta take a picture of it. What am I gonna post online? What am I gonna put in the thumbnail? You're seeing it happen right now. I think that's enough. Follow me on Instagram at LaunchpadCooks if you want to see those pictures. All right, now the actually important part. Let's take a bite. They're really good. Oh shit, that's good. So you get that cheesiness, you get the spice, then you come down into the fucking shallots, you get that crunch. Oh, this is so fucking good. I'm gonna eat both of these, just standing right here. You shouldn't see me like this, go away. So like I said, this is a totally new format I'm experimenting with. New angle, new food, everything. So if you like this video, let me know down below if I should keep doing them or if you want me to go back to the old style. If you just want me to stop making videos completely, whatever, let me know your opinions. Oh, and Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. Help my channel grow. I'm really trying to do that. So, thanks for watching, guys. Say bye. Bye. No, he doesn't care.